Hi, hello, welcome back to the Horror Shelf. My name is Donate and this is the series where I torture myself with extreme horror books. In this video series, I read extreme horror books. A spinning wheel picks the books for me, and then after I finish reading them, I give you full spoilers, everything that happens in these books, so you don't have to read them yourself. You don't have to go through this torture like I do. No, I'm kidding. There are actually quite a few good books that I've read so far. And then afterwards, I rank them in my own ICEBERG chart. So welcome. Before we begin, please like this video, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. I put a lot of work in these videos. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Let's just start with spinning the wheel. Alright, so let's spin the wheel for the first book of this video. Let's go. Ooh. Okay, The Summer I Died, Ryan C. Thomas. I haven't heard of this book yet, so I'm curious to see what it's about. I think I'll spin again for the second book for this video, and then I'll have two books to read for now. So let's spin again. There's one book that I'm hoping to get because I have it on my actual bookshelf, but I don't know. It's also not one. Thalia, Daniel J. Volpe. Now this one, I do know. I have heard about this one, but I did forget what it's about. But I do know that a lot of people have read this that I follow on YouTube. So I'm excited to read this one, I think. Am I? I don't know. Alright. So those are the two books that I will be reading in this video. The Summer I Died and Thalia. Okay, so The Summer I Died. I've read over half of this book so far, and to be honest, I'm really enjoying it. I mean, the whole plot of the story so far is quite basic, but I'm really invested in the characters, so I'm loving it so far. It's not that long as well. Yeah, I only have like 40 pages left to go, so let me quickly summarize for you what happened. The book starts off with two best friends. They were best friends in high school, and now one of them has gone off to college and the other one has stayed in their hometown. The one that stayed in the hometown kind of became a drunk or like an alcoholic, but they are still friends and they decide for that summer to spend the summer together just like the good old days. They decide to go up the mountains and shoot some beer cans there with guns. Yeah, what else would you shoot with? You know, they are like outdoors, drinking, smoking lettuce and shooting beer cans. And suddenly, you know, they are like stoned out of their minds and they hear this woman screaming. So they decide to investigate. You know, they think, okay, this woman is clearly needing help and we should help her. So they try to find this woman and they come across this little like rotten cabin in the forest. They figure that the screaming is coming from there, and then suddenly this woman is running out of there, being chased by this psycho killer with a big axe and two big dogs as well. They want to help her. The drunk friend, he shoots one of the dogs, and then yeah, the psycho killer, he throws his axe into the back of this woman's head and she keeps running. I don't know how she survived that, but sure, she has this axe in the back of her head. He also attacks both of the friends, and eventually he manages to capture them and the women, and he locks everyone up inside of his basement. Everyone is like attached to the walls, chained, and basically he just starts torturing them. And our main character, he has dices, like rolling dices for like a game in his pocket, and this psycho killer dude finds these dices and he decides to make it a little game. The dice decides which one of the people there gets tortured, and at some point he manages to capture our main character's sister and he locks her up there as well, so she also gets tortured, and it's very gory. After that part, like, so far it's mostly just a torture story which is really gory. But the thing is, because of the first half of the story, you get so invested in this friendship that these two guys have together, and you start really liking those two characters and their dynamic. I'm reading the story right now and I'm rooting for them. I'm hoping that they will survive, and I already know that only the main character is gonna survive, because the book starts off with him being like, that summer was the most extreme thing that has ever happened to me, and I can only survive my current life by taking all of these anti-depression pills and blah blah. So it's clear that he is the one who survives. I'm pretty sure the other people won't survive. So I'm enjoying it, but only because I'm really invested in the characters. I mean, other than that, it's just a torture story so far. I did read in some reviews on Goodreads that there is a big plot twist coming that had people shook at the end of the book. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's my update so far. So I'm coming at you with an update because I finished The Summer I Died. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fun, good little torture story. That's all it is. It's a fun torture story. Nothing too controversial, I think, violence-wise. Or maybe I am desensitized by now by reading all of these books. I don't know, but I thought the gore was okay. The violence was okay. Like, if you are a beginner, you can read this book and you won't be that shocked. Let me tell you how the story ended. Where I left off was that our main character is locked up in this creepo's basement with his best friend and his sister. His best friend dies and gets tortured by the psycho killer so much that he's starting to hang on by a thread basically. And his best friend's name, his nickname is Tooth. So this psycho killer wants to know why is he called Tooth. So he starts smacking his teeth out with a big hammer, so his teeth are flying everywhere, and yeah, then Tooth has no more teeth. Tooth is like basically dead, like he's going towards the light, if you know what I mean. This psycho killer grabs, like dislodges Tooth's jaw and then pulls it off with his hands, and then he's dead. That happened. Our psycho killer rolls the dice again, and once again our main character's numbers do not get rolled. So psycho killer gets crazy, starts torturing his sister even more. She's still alive. I don't know, you don't get full descriptions of what he does to her. You just have to use your imagination based on the tools that he uses for the torture, but you don't know what he's actually doing. You know, that's what I mean by, I think, yes, it's very gory and violent, but most of it's fine for a beginner, I guess. You know, it's not that shocking. It's just fun. So he's torturing his sister, and then our main character tries to escape, but he's locked to the wall with these like collars on his hands, feet, and neck, and he tries to get out. And there's this pin that the guy psycho killer used to torture Tooth, and the pin is like right at his feet. So he manages to kick the pin up into his hands, and then he tries to unlock the collars around his hands with this pin, but the pin is too big. Yeah, and the psycho killer, he finds out that he's trying to escape. He tortures his sister even more. A psycho killer, like I mentioned before, he has 2 dogs. One of the dogs dies at the beginning, like Tooth kills him with the whole trying to save the woman thing. But the other dog is still alive, and he was wearing a collar. So our main character, he tries to lure. He tries to get the dog. He tries to get the dog to come to him, pet him, and then with his hands behind his back, like the dog starts licking. The dog starts licking his arm, and then he manages to take the collar off of him, and then he uses the pin of the collar to open up his handcuffs. I don't know how he did this. It was a little bit unbelievable to me, but I mean, it's a story, it's fine. I can suspend my imagination, I guess. Then he also uses this pin to like open up the cuffs around his neck and around his feet. Then he's free. First he looks at his sister and she's still alive. So now he's like, okay, I have to find a phone so I can call an ambulance. So he's free. He starts looking through this man's house to find a phone, while our psycho killer is in the backyard playing with his dog, burying things. I don't know, he's in the backyard searching through the house. He can't find a phone, and then at one point psycho killer gets back inside and finds him, and then they fight on the staircase. They you know, beat each other up. At one point they start rolling outside, fight some more, and then our main character gets like the upper hand. What's it called? He starts winning the fight basically. He has this weapon with him that he found in the basement where he was locked up. So he hacks off our psycho killer's hands, then his arms, and then finally just kills him. Someone in the distance, like this old lady, sees them fighting. And she calls the police. Then the police show up, and at first they think our main character is the psycho killer, but then once they get inside, they find out that no, he's not. He's actually a victim. Then there's a flash forward to our main character in the hospital, and his sister, who's also still alive, in the hospital, but his parents, they seem to care more for his sister than for him. It ends with how bad his life is now with all this trauma, and that's the end of the book. Like I said, it's a fun little torture story. It's not too graphic, it's just fun. It's really fast paced, and actually I was also really getting stressed while reading it because I wanted the main character to escape so badly. Like I was really rooting for him, so that was fun. I mean, it's a really effective book. It really, like the writing style, it really grips you and you really care about these characters. So I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars and I can recommend it if you're in for a quick fun read. The Summer I Died. Read it. And now on to Thalia, the next book. It's a new day and it's time to start reading Thalia. And for this one I ordered it online, so I have the physical copy actually this time. That's a rare occurrence. I have the package here. Let's unbox it together and see what the book looks like. Here it is. Ooh! So, here's Thalia. She's quite thick for an extreme horror book. Little ASMR moment. I bought a new copy. Normally I always try to find books secondhand, but this one wasn't available secondhand, so I got a new one. The font is actually quite big and it's about 200 pages, so I think it will be a quick read. Let's see if I like it. I'll see you in the next clip when I have a little update about actually reading the book. So. Hello, I am coming at you with an update on Thalia, because I am halfway through Thalia right now, and so far it's quite gnarly, but I'm liking it. So you follow this girl called Thalia in the early 1990s, 1990 English, and she wants to be a Broadway star, so she moves to New York and she starts trying to go to acting auditions, trying to get her first steps into Broadway. She breaks something on the stage, so now she's in a lot of debt. She doesn't have that money. And then this shady guy that hangs around the theater all day starts talking to her, and he's like, I might have a job for you and you can earn a lot of money with doing this job. Turns out it's doing corn. I don't know if I can say the word on YouTube, but yeah, it's corn. She accepts. She's like, sure, I need the money, so I'll just start doing corn. And the book literally opens up with a scene where she and her colleague are entering a really big adult toy, like the size of a fire extinguisher, into a man's star. That's literally the first page of the book, and it's wait, let me read you a sentence from the first page. Let me grab the book real quick, 1 moment. So this is literally on page 3, right? Okay, let me read this to you. Where did Mike find this sick fuck? Thought Simone as she prepared to enter the winking anus in front of her. That's... I mean... that's literally on page 3 of the book, so that's just how the book is. Let me turn around again. So it opens up quite wild, as you can imagine. You follow Talia in this world. She's doing corn, and it gets more and more extreme. Like when the book starts, she's already doing extreme scenes with like piss and stuff. The director guy, Mike, he's called Mike. He's like, girls, next day I have quite an extreme scene for you, but it's going to be a lot of money and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be so worth it. Just be mentally prepared. They don't know what's going to happen. And then the next day comes, they enter the studio and there's this guy tied up and they have to do the scene in 2 acts. First act is just normal corn doing adult stuff to this tied up guy. So then act 2 happens and there's this big table in front of the guy with a normal whip, then a garden hose, a whip with like 3 tails or something, and there's a metal whip with barbed wire on it. And the idea is that they're gonna have to whip this tied up guy and end up with the barbed wire and then like slash him, I don't know. And Talia does so. She's quite reluctant, but her co-worker Simone, she's like puking and she can't handle it, obviously, because who could handle shredding up a guy with a barbed wire and being sexual about it? I don't know. So that happens, and then after the scene, Simone goes into Talia's locker room and she's like, I'm gonna quit, I can't do it anymore, this is too much. I'm gonna call the police on these guys, I'm gonna quit. They don't know that there's a camera in Talia's dressing room. So Mike, the director guy, he hears everything. He knows what Simone has said, like Talia's co-worker. At night, there's a knock on Simone's door and a bunch of guys barge into her room and they are all hired by Mike, and Mike is there as well with the camera, and essentially they make a snuff film out of her. Like they R-word her and they film everything and then start killing her on camera, which was quite rough. I mean, you don't get the full details of like the R-wording scene, but you do get details of the killing, and yeah, that was quite rough. Simone is dead, and what I thought was quite funny, there's a scene, I mean, it's not funny, but in the context of things it is funny, but they slice off her nipples during this. And in the previous book that I read for this video, The Summer I Died, there's also a scene where someone's nipples get cut off. Why am I reading 2 books in a row with nipples flying everywhere? I don't know, but that happened. And there's this sidekick, Mike's sidekick or like assistant. He's really creepy and apparently he's a necrophiliac. So before they dispose of Simone's body, he also does stuff to her dead body, which you also don't get the details of. You just get a description of the sounds that he makes as he's doing things to Simone's dead body. To be quite honest, I don't know why this necrophiliac dude is in there. I don't know. It's not really adding anything to the story. He's just there and he's just creepy. And sometimes you get like a vibe of that he is a necrophiliac, but it's just not really relevant to the story, I feel like. But okay, other than that, so Simone's dead and Talia, she doesn't know because Mike is telling her like, hey, she's not dead. She just quit her job and she moved back to her home country and I gave her a lot of money to move back, and yeah, you won't hear from her again because she doesn't want to talk to any of us, blah blah. So he tells Talia this, and Talia, of course, she doesn't really believe it because she was really good friends with Simone and she couldn't believe that Simone would leave without telling her. Talia goes back to work, and like a few days after she goes to work, and there's this really big woman, like not fat, just like she's really tall and she has wide shoulders, she has really muscular legs and extremely big melons. Does have some weight to her, but she's not like obese or something. It's just a really big built woman from Germany. And she's called Ingrid. Talia has to film a scene with Ingrid and she doesn't know what's gonna happen yet. They enter the room and there's a kiddie pool on the floor and some strange harness tied to the ceiling above it. And they have to do some lesbian adult stuff together, Talia and this extremely big woman. Suddenly they bring in this guy. He looks very beaten up and they tie him to his harness, and then Talia gets told that she needs to slice him with this razor blade. I think she has a razor blade on the cover of the book. Now I know why. Talia is told to slice him with this razor blade and she can't do it. So Ingrid takes over and she basically just kills this guy, slices him everywhere and eventually slices his throat and yeah, he dies, he's bleeding out and they start doing more lesbian stuff in his blood. And then at some point Talia can't take it anymore. She starts puking everywhere and she runs out of the scene. Mike, her boss, decides, well, she can't handle this. She needs to be taken out. Him and Ingrid, they are acting like, oh, we're gonna go for dinner. We will take you home. Just get in the car with us. They ride to this really sketchy neighborhood. They try to kill Talia in the car, but she has this razor blade that she kept from the scene in her pocket and she manages to cut up Ingrid in her arm. She can get out of the car and she basically starts running and they shoot at her. They try to kill her. They think she's dead basically. They think she's dead in a ditch, but actually Talia survived. That's where I left off. There's still like 25% of the book left and Talia is out of the corn business now, it seems. So I'm curious to see where it goes. Also got a little bit of backstory about Ingrid as well, the German lady, and apparently she has a whole family at home in Germany and she's pretending to be on a work business trip while she's making snuff videos. That's crazy, girl. That's crazy. That's a crazy secret life to be living. So that's where I left off. To be honest, I'm quite enjoying it, even though it's, I don't know, it's making me feel sick as well at the same time. And the writing style is not great. It's not that good. There's a lot of like grammar mistakes in there and sentences that don't seem right, but I can read past that, so that's fine. I don't really care about that. But yeah, that's my update about Talia. It's interesting. I'll see you in the next update, probably when I finish the book. So bye. It's a new day and I'm aware that I am looking crusty as hell, but I finished Talia and boy oh boy did that took a turn. I really enjoyed the first part. Even though the writing style was kind of bad, I could look past that, it's fine. Then it just got this like non-human plot twist and I did not enjoy it. I did not like the second part. Also, I have new nails, wait. You like my new nails? I did them myself yesterday. But yeah, so I left off with Talia being half dead in this ditch in this sketchy neighborhood, right? She wakes up being brought back to life by this demon guy and suddenly she's a demon too and she got like demon superpowers. Cool, I guess. But it was just completely out of nowhere. She decides to go on this killing spree and she's gonna kill all the bad guys that tortured her and her friend Simone and in this industry. And so she just visits every bad guy that was in this book. She kills them all. And like at first she tortures them a little bit, but then she kills them and it's like, okay, slay for the revenge. I like that she got revenge, but she could have done more. She could have tortured them more. It was just not satisfying at all. It was so quick. They're all dead. She's a demon. Hooray. That's the ending. It just was a letdown. I didn't like that. She could have tortured them so much more. Like, yes, they got what they deserved, but it could have been better. They deserved worse. You know what I mean? I was disappointed. I gave it 2 stars. I don't know. I didn't know. No. Why? And there's a part 2 to this, but I'm just gonna skip that because I don't like that she turned into a demon. I don't know, man. It's not for me. So that's it. That's Talia. Let's place them both in the chart, shall we? Okay, let's place them both in the iceberg. I have The Summer I Died, and honestly, I'm gonna put it in Shiver Me Timbers. This is the first one that I'm putting there, but it was really it was a fun story, but it was not that impressive, or like, yes, it was disturbing, but I feel like someone who has never read an extreme horror book could read this and it will be okay. So that's the first book to ever go in Shiver Me Timbers. And that does not mean that it's a bad book. Like, let's just be clear about that. It's a good book. It's not that scary. Could also be a normal horror book, I feel like. Alright, and then Talia. That's a hard one, I think. Talia, could also go in Shiver Me Timbers, but I feel like it has a lot more disturbing scenes than The Summer I Died. So I'm gonna put it in disturbing but digestible. It's okay. I feel like it had like the necrophilia and the, I don't know, snuff scenes and stuff, but you didn't get a lot of details. You just knew it was happening, but you had to use your own imagination, so that makes it digestible, I think. So Talia can go there. And that's the new update on ICEBERG. So those were the reviews of The Summer I Died and Talia. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, please subscribe, please comment. If you have any recommendations of extreme horror books or splatterpunk books that I should add to the ICEBERG chart, please let me know. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!